Thank you for joining us again for another episode here of the Uncharted podcast, your home for nonprofit data, talk, donor management tools and updates, and financial integrations. My name is Jeremy, and I'm joined as always by my partner in crime, Summer. Summer, how are you doing?
I'm great today. How are you, Jeremy?
I am good. We were just waxing intellectual before that it's just been a week, right? Like these busy weeks come in there, and it typically it's a blessing. It means we're serving the clients out there and doing a lot of things and dealing with the family stuff all in tandem with that. But it's been a week.
Absolutely. Yep. We're gearing up. My current client and I, we're gearing up for an event coming up in May. And I'm also helping them with some like advocacy things. So it's just been wild. The whole month of February just flew by.
Yeah. Just off the cuff, and like you'll figure out if everything else, we don't do a ton of advanced planning on things, but some, right? We're going to dig into our first tool today, Givebutter, and we'll get to that. And I know some people are looking forward to that, right? It's like, let's actually dig into the tools and give some thoughts and walk through. Have you helped with supporting a lot of setup of events, right? Like at least the planning around it on like what it is and when it is and where it is and all of that as well?
So usually my experience is kind of partnering with the events manager, events planner, whatever role that is within the nonprofit. But the data side is super tied to it. So setting up the event in whatever software, making sure the integrations are in place, making sure the registration forms are in place, setting up registration, ticketing, what's tax deductible, what's not tax deductible. So kind of all the little nitty gritty data details. But when it comes to like, where are we having it and what time? I don't really care about that. That's the events manager.
Yeah, I was at a client and they're planning their spring one, and it's something they've only done their second year, and they're starting it at 3:00. And then it kind of goes from 3 to whatever, and then dinner. And then there's like and the event's going to be amazing either way. But there was a lot of things like, ooh, that seems pretty early on a Saturday to start this.
Well, Saturday, it's a little better.
Yeah. And then I was thinking, man, I'm old. If I can be home by 9:00 and have this whole event done, that'd be fantastic. But then a lot of the people are like, I think you're going to lose people in that time. And I'm like, I don't know. So I know usually these are evening events, but I kind of had mixed feelings. It was like, I would love to be done by 9:00 and just shut her down for the night. But
that's so funny. That's one of the points that we were talking about with this one. They're like, they said like 9:30, and I'm like, ooh, how about like 8:30?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That works better for me. I mean,
yeah. Oh, I love it. All right, we got a lot to cover. I think I'm going to skip actually even our personal fact. Let's push that off till next time because we really want to dig into Givebutter. So this is our first one that we're looking at, kind of diving into the tool itself, its functionality, just suggestions on the right size of organizations to use this. And it's probably going to be a two-parter. So like, again, bear with us as we're figuring out the right cadence to do these and how deep to go into it. But in looking at this, it's like a whole section on just getting it set up, right? And getting your contacts information and all of that. I think both of us dug into that probably more than we ever thought we should to get prepared for that. But then there's that whole other aspect of now like historical transactions and then actually putting new transactions in and how does that flow through in reporting and get into financial stuff and things like that. So that's the plan anyway. Our producer Ian may cut this out if we decide to shift mid episode, but let's start with that. So first one we're going to is Givebutter. So why don't you, Summer, if you can, just give an overview of what the tool really focuses on and maybe what it's pretty good at versus maybe it's not, just at a super high level before we even dig into more details there.
Yeah, absolutely. So Givebutter is really great for like small to medium-sized nonprofits, startups, people who are kind of looking for like an out-of-the-box, all-in-one tool, right? So it's super cost-effective. There is a free version, which is awesome. It has the CRM, donation forms, peer-to-peer, fundraising, auction tools. They did an update, which I had noted from when we first started doing our research, and they added seating, which is really cool.
They added what?
Seating, like event seating, like a seating chart.
Oh, a seating chart. Oh, yeah. So you could have those arguments like you do at weddings. It's like, can we put Grandma Edna next to Uncle Alcoholic? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Like
those are some interesting family names.
Yeah, right.
They also have auction tools. and just a lot of really cool out of the box features that I had fun kind of exploring. So
Yeah, and the seating thing is important too. Like I never thought about that. And again, on the finance side, we're usually after the fact, but I've been involved now long enough in this to see it and be part of the development meeting saying like, oh, if we can get this person who we're very much targeting in with this knowledgeable person from our internal organization at the same table and they're talking about the things that they're passionate about, like that tree can bear a lot of fruit, right? If you have it in the right place. So that's pretty cool.
right. Or like, oh, we had this table sponsor and we see that these are his guests. Well, now we can kind of approach his guests after the event and be like, hey, what did you like? What didn't you like? What are you passionate about? So yeah, very, very useful.
Also making sure that like the major sponsors are front and center and get the love and all that. Yeah, love it. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I agree. Like, I think that's perfectly set. Like, small to medium nonprofits, right? And that's probably going to be most of our focus with most of these tools. Like, there's a lot of these big ones that the institutional, either universities or hospitals or things like that use that are probably something that they're not going to give us access to for free to dig into, but probably above our audience too for a lot of cases. But we'll see. Never know what the future may bring.
Never know.
Okay. So now let's say we got into Givebutter. First of all, signed up, right? It's free. So that's perfect right away is to do that. And I know they have some levels and I may have a gripe about that on some financial integrations next time, but we'll just foreshadow that for now. So the process of doing it and getting it set up and getting information in there, let's start there and get your thoughts. And then maybe even, so here's where it's going to be nice because I feel like we're going to have to share our screen, kind of walk through some things. If you're on our YouTube channel, you're going to get behind the secret sauce. If not, we will do our best to also talk through this for just audio only, but encourage you guys to get out there and see it because then you'll see the tool live. So let's start there. So we're in the startup process. Let's just run into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I thought setting up the account itself was super easy. I just went out to their website, click sign up for free. They asked for minimal information. And then once I was in, they actually even had a dashboard that said, hey, these are the tasks you need to complete. You need to add your bank account. You need to set up your organizational information. You need to, whatever. So that was really nice.
I feel like having that kind of dashboard view is almost a must at this point, right? Like I'm new to this. What are the steps I need to take to do this? So I also like it. And I don't remember because I actually had a legacy account for this that I just had to bring back from the dead as a zombie to start doing this. But even if there is what I like is a light tutorial in the beginning, right? I don't want to be like, hey, you have to go through 4 hours of information to onboard our thing. But here's good ways to get started and just like short little, maybe 5-minute videos. Here's where you connect bank account, whatever it is. So I like that on the front end too. Okay, so you should be seeing my screen now. So this is us. And again, under a corporate account that we have. So first of all, looked at what you expected on your side as well. Okay. Great.
Yep.
So yeah. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So as you can see, you even have a progress bar at the top, the steps that you need to complete. So you've already verified your email, created a campaign. Right there, it says connect payout method. That takes 5 minutes. So yeah, like you're saying, super quick. Just give me what I need to do to get rolling, right?
So, and so this is one thing I would talk about, like connecting payment method. And if you want me to stop and go back or anything, or like, don't do this, Jeremy, just yell at me. But like, if I remember, you have to have a Stripe account, right, to do this. So that I would say, I don't like having to sign up for another provider,
right,
to be able to access something, right? So can you natively do this within the software? I would prefer that, but again, it is what it is. Stripe is obviously really prominent in the space, so I get it.
Right. Yeah, I would absolutely agree. I would rather just pull my report from the same place instead of having to go out to Stripe, pull it there, see the breakout of everything. Like just one spot would be nice.
Yeah, we're not software developers, obviously, but there's enough payment processing solutions that there has to be some kind of option to get this integrated. But is that not cost effective for them or whatever it is? So I get it. So,
yeah, it could be a partnership thing. Because I know, so with Givebutter, you have the free option. Now, switching gears a little bit to kind of talk about what that means, you have to ask your donors to have an optional tip, I think is what they call it, but essentially covering the process fees. and that's optional. They don't have to, but you do have to ask. So if you don't and you're going to cover them, that's where kind of Stripe comes in a little bit more, where you're having to pay and cover those processing fees and those platform fees.
Yeah. And I think if we're going to go there, and then I think, well, let's talk through the dollars costs here, and then talk about like getting the data in and starting a campaign. And I'm sure you have a lot of notes on that. So digging into costs. So again, we talked about having free version out there, right?
Right.
And then I know they have Plus as well.
Yes.
And I don't remember the cost of that. Again, apologies. I think that's is that under settings with the.
Yep. And that's going to be under subscription billing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got it. So that's obviously going to be on number of contacts, as you can see the breakdown there. And then you can either do monthly or annual, which is their best value.
Right. And typically, like, if you're going to do one of these, first of all, you have your 30-day trial. So do what you can up there. Then I'm a big one, like, try it for a couple months at monthly. Make sure it's working before you put the whole annual fee down. Again, we know nonprofit resources are limited. What is your thoughts on having this based on the number of contacts, or more or less their donor list or master list, as the basis for their pricing?
That's pretty common.
Okay.
That's typically what you're going to see with most CRMs.
Yeah.
This tier is a little lower than I'm used to seeing. Usually I'm looking at tiers where they charge by, 10,000, 25,000, 50,000 increments.
Okay.
But we also know that Givebutter is intended for small to mid-sized nonprofits.
Right. Okay. So, and if we look at this, and I'm just going to do the monthly costs and just orate this quickly out there. So, like, up to 250 is $34 a month. Up to 1,000 is 92. 2,500 is 150. 5,000 is like 210, and up 10,000 above is 325. I don't feel like those tiers are bad, right? It seems like pretty proportional to that, right? So like that. And then, so you kind of know what the cost of this is. And then you can add contracts for, $10 for another 100 before you want to add another tier, things like that, depending on what tier you're on. The other piece that I have, and we will get this in our show notes by some magic thing, is I did put together, like, what are the fees for payment processing. So this was nice, something that I helped kind of whip up. And you can see Givebutter is another one where if you have tips enabled, right? And what that is it'll ask when your donor goes, if they want to give to Givebutter as a tip. If that is enabled, then you do not have a platform fee for the payment processing. Am I understanding that correctly, right?
Correct. It's called their Givebutter guarantee. So it's 0 fees.
Right. If that is not on, then it's a 3% amount. That is the normal platform fee. So that would be 3% of amounts collected.
Right.
Correct? Okay.
Yep.
Now that is a platform fee. So 2 different types of fee here. Platform fee is what we just talked about. 0 if tips are enabled, 3% if not. Now processing fees, that goes on top of that, right?
Yep.
So most of these are pretty comparable, but this one is for them is 2.9% plus 30 cents for transaction by card, or 1.9% plus 30 cents if it's ACH. Right. So, I mean, there's a little bit, if you look at these, again, some of these just based on what you'd use for Stripe or PayPal. But you can see another one like Donately is like 2 to 3%. Givefly about or GiveLifey, right? That's the kind of the same one or same range. So not a lot of change there. And again, these probably go down when you get to bigger tools because you expect to have more transactions going through there.
Yes and no. So I've worked with some bigger tools in the past, and the processing fees are typically the same. Platform fees could go down a little bit, but again, it depends on what tool you're using. And I think a lot of people get that confused. They think it's all one fee, and it's usually whatever tool you're using. So Givebutter, Fundraising, whatever, plus the processor, who is usually Stripe, PayPal, stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So just so you know, costs kind of right off the bat, when you can do budgets. We talked about how important that is, just to know what that is right away. Cool. Okay. Then let's dive into what's our next step. So we know what it costs. Now, like, we're trying to set up our lists and campaigns.
Yes, so we should probably show them how to import contacts if they've
All right.
never done it.
I assume I'm going to go to this fancy contacts list.
Yes. So this was a really neat experience for me. And I don't know, did you import any yet?
I did not import any yet.
So I can walk you through it. And we don't have to fully go through this whole process, but just so they can kind of see, like, hey, you click some buttons and you can just a couple of the tools that I thought were kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay.
Ready?
All right. So let's go. I'm an import contacts. So I have a file to upload file. Here we go. Right in the middle. Mm-hmm. I have that. And I don't think I have any. Okay. So grab a CSV file, bringing this in, and I think just initially from a data management view, I like this initially because it's like, hey, here are the fields you have in a column. Here's the fields in Givebutter, and then an example of what those should look like on the right. So I feel like that's nice.
Yes, and they even like show you. So if you hover over contact since date,
okay.
Like it'll show you the first few lines of your file too in that column in it, which is really nice.
Yeah. I like it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't have any issues with this. I clicked upload and then I think I clicked continue. There we go.
So did you? So I believe did you export so I have a template?
Yes.
And you exported that and then included it, uploaded the information, included it here. Okay.
And you can even see where in the upper left-hand corner there it says download template. So let's say you're like needing the template and you just try to go in and do it right away and you're like, oh shoot, I should probably use a template. It's right there.
Yeah.
And they have a help article right there too.
Okay. So I don't know if we want to do this now. I'm going to go now anyway. Are there fields in here that you feel are extraneous or missing?
Yes.
So I knew the answer to that, but now I'm just
I felt it was pretty limited, right? So if you're coming from a spreadsheet or maybe like a super out of the box CRM, super small one, sure. But if you're coming from a more robust CRM that has a lot of different fields, I mean, there's nowhere to put it. It's just really basic. So there's no, you can make a custom field, but so to do that, you'd have to build the custom field first and then import. But there's no like solicitation codes or donor status, right? Major donor, mid donor, monthly donor, which again, you can build custom fields for, but they're not preset fields, which are pretty typical, I'd say, in other CRMs.
Yeah.
And then I have not used a ton of the socials in my experience, but what do you think?
I thought the same thing. So I thought I'd echo all of that. So you talked about like no segmentation type of field in here. And yes, you can build that. And then you need to, like you said, build it, put it on the template, map it over, fine, right? And again, there is work expected here. You're never going to have a plug and play and everything does exactly what you want it to.
Right.
I also thought I didn't see delineation between a corporate or an individual account.
So they're two separate imports. You have to do an individual import and then a corporate import.
Why don't you just make that one field and have it be delineate between the two? Okay.
Right. Yep.
That seems like extra work I don't want to do, Pummer, but okay.
And also I didn't see anywhere for activities, right? So you're going to have history of how many times you've contacted your donor. There is a notes field, but I didn't see your typical timeline. And maybe that's another import. Maybe that's separate. I haven't explored that quite yet.
Yeah.
But.
Do you think they're tags field? And I have to be careful because I'm in Wisconsin. We say tags a lot, but tags field. Do you think that is supposed to? I see you have like a VIP supporter or volunteer in there. I think it's just like where you call it like if they're a board member. But it's not, the tag isn't like how you would segment them. It's more like what's a not consistently applied to all line items descriptor. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Right. And I think that is their intention for tags, because later on, if we go through it today, I can show you some of the reporting options, and that's kind of, I think, what their intent is for segmenting. So.
Okay. And then I get back to your original question. Yeah, the social media URLs importing there, that I thought was a little weird.
I've not ever seen people like, oh, here's their X handle or their, like TikTok handle. And maybe there are nonprofits out there who are like super into using socials and tagging and all that. I just personally have not used that a lot. So that I left blank for the majority of my import contacts, but they had an example import. I just wanted to see kind of like how it imported and flowed. So you'll see, that there are examples in there.
Yeah. And I wonder, again, we're going to discover so much ourselves that we're going to learn is like, is there a tool to do a campaign that if you have this information in there, it can tell it to find people and like people in this algorithm of social media-ness and target them because they're there. So if that's the case, great. But yeah, I was surprised by that too. It's like, okay. Cool. Okay. All right. So I'm going to continue here and have this uploaded.
Yes. So I didn't do gender. So I think the cells with no data, I just put nothing or something.
I do have a female friend named Randy that gets a lot of dear sirs. So, I mean, that's important too. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I personally don't like prefixes just because it is such a big data point that gets messy because you have like your Mr. Dot and then you're just Mr. and then Mr. spelled out. And then, no, I just don't like it. And again, like your friend Randy.
Right.
This was, interesting. When I did this the other day. Okay, here's a good one. There we go. I don't know why. As you were scrolling, then it started saying invalid. So if you go to the top right, it'll say invalid.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So it tells you what is wrong. So this was really cool. If you click on up in the left hand, there's transform. So highlight the contact since column.
Is that highlighted? I think so. No?
Okay. And then, I think it is. And then transform.
Oh. Ooh, transforming.
Yes. And so because I, again, am new, I've never been in Givebutter, it said, describe what you'd like to do. So I said, reformat contact since date.
Oh. Reformat for contact. And just enter?
Yep.
So what didn't it like about that? Because I felt like it was a relatively, okay, so let's look at, so it needs it to be, or it wants it to be 4-digit year - month - day.
Yes.
And you have it in there with month / month, day / year. Okay.
Yep. So you can, obviously it tells you what it doesn't like and you can review it.
Yeah, I like that.
Then you can click transform data up in the top right and it will change it for you. And you don't have to go back to your CSV file, update it there, and then re-upload it because it does it for you right here.
Yeah, that's super nice. I think like the gold standard would be allow your software to pick any of the standard dating and figure it out. But if like it's that fast, I don't care, right? Like, yeah, that's a good.
And I didn't have to like find their import guide, find the field code, I literally hit transform and it did it for me. So I thought that was super cool. I've not seen that in a CRM before. So I like that. So there's still a bunch of things that are invalid. I think there was like 4 things I had to fix. So we won't go through all of those. But again, I just kind of kept going back. I think one quick one I could show you that it didn't like is if you scroll over, I think it was like household is primary. Or even this email subscription status, either or.
Okay.
And what you can do is now you can click those 3 dots and then do replace empty cells. And then let's just say everyone is opted in. So you can just type in yes.
Boom.
Yeah. Isn't that slick?
I like it. I like it. Yeah.
That. So yeah, I fixed a few more things and then I hit submit. You get a notification every time you do an import. Pretty much every time you do any actions within Givebutter, I've been noticing I'll get like a little email notification for it. So that's nice.
And do you have to, I assume you have to fix all the invalid things before you can submit?
Correct.
Okay. So this is another one you have to transform, right?
Yep. So back up to the upper left hand where it says transform. Sorry. Little further in.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There you go. And then same thing, reformat birth date.
And then transform data?
Yeah, I like to verify it first, but yeah.
Where's birthday field? Oh, yeah. Date of birth. There it is. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right. And we have about, I think it's 97. So let's just say 100 line items. And this is going pretty quick, right? Like,
yeah.
It's up there. It's done. Now green.
Yep. Okay. And then if you X that out, then you'll see now your status says valid.
Yeah. Every single. Okay. So 97 lines. So let's just submit it. And I hit that. And it's thinking. That was done in 2 seconds, if that. Okay. Slick.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. It's thinking. A few minutes remaining. But still. Yeah. It's giving you an update. You know when it's happening. Mm-hmm. Okay. Even if it takes a little bit, just submit it. Go get some lunch. Come back. Everything's happy. Yeah. Cool.
I think maybe we just have too many things going on right now as we're recording. Yeah. I was gonna say mine was really quick last when I did it last.
Yeah. And it's done. So it took a matter of seconds. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. All right. So we have contacts then. What do we do next?
So I think we should show them what a contact looks like. This is, again, kind of where we're seeing a lot of that out of the box, right? Where it's really basic. Yeah, so you can just click on anyone's name. But yeah, so all their information, their primary details are over to the side here. Tags are going to be kind of at the bottom where you saw there, and their giving summary, which we don't have any giving data yet. Their activity feed comes up right away, so it's a little bit like a timeline. So this is where I would like to find out, how do I import the historical data here? Because I'm assuming if you're importing from somewhere, there's going to be historical data. And you're going to want to see when was their last phone call, their last email, all of that. Relationship shows the households. And then summaries, I think, was just their giving. Yeah. Oh, their yearly summaries. Mm-hmm. And we've got profile. So again, you can edit any of that personal information here. Birth date, gender, employer, email, phone. You can add a bio in there, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
There's their socials. Yep.
That's funny. And the other one, it was Twitter, and now it's X on here.
Yeah.
Upload. Okay.
And then I believe the companies is if they have like an employer in, or maybe own their own business or something. So then you can add it there.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I mean, it's clean too, right? Like I don't need that at all.
Super clean, super basic, but it's kind of nice because you're not super bogged down with a bunch of extra stuff, right? And you can, so I noticed in the integrations, there's donor search, so you could create custom fields for their wealth screening data and get that imported over, so you can still have access to that. It's just there's not a Givebutter field for it.
And you said wealth screen.
Wealth screen.
Let's talk about that for those of us who may not know. What's a wealth screen?
Yes. So a wealth screen, if you were to upload, let's say, 50 of your contacts into donor search, which is the one that they have on their integrations tab, it would kick back how much revenue they make, their property, estimated property values, who they like to support. So are they, what their philanthropic interests are, if they're board members anywhere. It's really a lot of public data, just kind of nice and gathered and grouped in one space. And then it'll give you scores like this person is, I might mix up my wealth screening. I think Hidden Gem might be iWave or Kindsight now. But I think Donor Search has different like DS1 or DS2, and they have like a whole guide for them. there's a lot, but it'll essentially tell you like this one would be a good person to ask for this amount or steward or what have you. So it's just a little more insight into obviously their wealth screening,
Right.
to help drive major donor prospects.
Okay. Intriguing. So Big Brother's always watching. It's not just social medias and your phones listening. Everyone is gathering all the data possible, right, to categorize you and make you as marketable to as possible.
Yes. Because where they get most of this is from like annual reports. You know how nonprofits will put out, here's our major donors. They gave $10,000. Well, they grab all the annual reports from wherever you've given to, and they tie it to your public record of your property address and your taxes and all that. So yeah, it's kind of scary actually how much information is just available and out there for people to see about you.
Yeah, and that's, again, I don't think you can donate anonymously, right?
Yep.
So there's another option for that. But yes, the IRS requires you that if you donate more than $5,000, you have to be disclosed on your 990 filing. That page is not for public record, so you can't go and look that up. But I don't know if these tools can look that up, right? If that information's out there. But I know like there's a lot of even like we're looking more in the finance world. What is this organization? How much activity do they have? How much revenue do they have? What are programming? Things like that. So it's good to know like, hey, I can just go look up through, and we use Impala as another one that just gives us information for organizations, but will also show major donors based on 990 stuff is, it's just like, what's the revenue point and are those people listed or what their mission is? So yeah, again, data is everywhere, driving all the things. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Like it. I also do like just looking at the buttons on this one that like, we add a transaction here. You can archive them, merge them, convert them to a company if you had an issue where you put a person in there and he's like, no, I want that to be my business, right? Because I'm that guy. Yeah, I like that too.
Yes. And then they have a bunch of presets. So if you go back to activity.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. And the little blue plus button, they have a bunch of preset activities you can do too.
Oh, yeah. So like call, meeting, text message, volunteer. Cool. Okay.
So yeah, again, super basic, but also super clean. And like, you don't have to come in here and customize every little thing. It's just kind of ready to go.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. All right. So we got contacts in there. What's next?
We should probably show them campaigns.
Yeah. I was thinking that too. It's like, let's look at campaigns. And I think, again, we definitely need a number 2 on this, probably around transactional data, right?
Yes.
And then also probably reporting coming out of it. I think we'd want that in there. And then again, I'm excited about the financial integrations if I can get that.
Yeah, I didn't want to hop around too much on that because I have some comments and thoughts on the transactions. But I'm like, oh, well, wait.
Okay.
Campaigns, I think, is a logical next step to show.
Yeah. Okay. So I did just because I think you have to do, there was some step in the process. I think it was actually on the onboarding. It's like, start your first campaign, right? So I threw a test one out here, but I guarantee you there's nothing interesting about this one right now. So would you rather start a new one or look at this one that I dummied up?
Let's just do a new one so we can kind of go through all the options quick so we're not doing everything one by one. So you can do a donation form, a fundraising page, an event. As I was clicking through and kind of creating each of these, they're pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
So you can just do any of them and click get started.
Okay, we'll do donation form. Don form. Let's go. I love the superhero coming across the screen. Okay.
Tons of options to add. You can add a goal, which is great because they have a thermometer on the page that shows you how close you are to your goal.
I like that.
You can do a theme color, cover photo. You can embed a video. So if your marketing person has like a really cool video that's tied to this specific campaign, you can put that in there. You can create with Canva. That was a really cool feature that I liked, is you can link your Canva account directly to it. So if you have a bunch of creatives already, instead of downloading and uploading back and forth, you can just link it, which is awesome. And then your campaign description there.
Please give us money. Okay. Also embedding video too, which, and as
Yep.
we all know, like video is what everybody wants to see now. It's not still
Yep.
pictures and things like.
So that's just kind of the basics, and then you can go over to sharing, which
Okay. Yeah. Next tab. Got it.
you can do a customized link, which is always super nice because you want your donors or your supporters to be able to recognize what it's for. And then right there, you already have a QR code ready for you. You have SEO setting options. You can do widgets for your website. Did you put that there?
I did. I was playing with pictures, so I got this minion picture in there.
That's amazing.
So for the listeners, just a minion picture with him bringing up a googly-eyed rock and said, "Face it, you rock."
I like it.
Yeah. Before we go past it, like the QR code is amazing, right? Like just having that readily available. Also, I don't know if there's a lot of these tools that do it, but there are organizations or marketing companies or whatever where you have to pay to get a QR code to keep it active, right? Like you have to pay like $10 a month or something. So part of the platform. So that's nice.
One thing I've also kind of mentioned though, it looks like when you add certain things, so for example, your SEO photo, if you add it one place, it's kind of like a blanket for all the things.
Yeah, because I was on a totally different campaign, and I know I didn't make it a donation form. I think I made it an event. Yeah.
Yep. So it's kind of a blanket, which could be frustrating if you're trying to do a bunch of super specific different campaigns. But I think the intent of Givebutter is kind of this simplistic, out of the box digital fundraising. And so kind of being able to just have a copy paste almost for a lot of these things.
Quick ones, get out there, do A/B testing, what's hitting better, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Widgets. I didn't look at this.
For your website. So you can
okay. So you can get it right on there. So all the big names, the WordPresses, Squarespace, the Wix, all those. Okay. Let's go to tools.
This I really liked.
Okay.
So if you look at your payment settings, you will see that at the bottom there, it says you can allow supporters to select to pay via check. A lot of online donation forms and event forms do not have that option when you're talking out of the box tools. So it's usually either credit card, ACH, DAF, the typical. Allowing someone to pay via check is huge because when you get your sponsors for these big events and they need to write you a $50,000 check, you really don't want to pay the platform fees for that. You want them to be able to send you a check.
Okay.
So having that option to throw up on an event registration form, even to be like, yep, I want to be, gold sponsor at 50,000, I'll pay by check. And then you can track that and reach out and be like, hey, when are you planning on sending your check?
Okay. I was going to counterpoint you on this one because I hate checks.
Oh, really?
But like, I love avoiding the fees, though. So here's where I have an internal struggle. But like, unless they're handing you the check, then it's like, where's the check? Where's the check? Where's the check? Right? Other thing is like when you have the check, it doesn't automatically get in your bank account, right? You either got to bring it to the bank, you got to scan it in, or whatever, and there's just risks there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those big donations, I don't want to pay 3% on that donor fee.
No.
So yeah, all right. I smell what you're stepping in here.
Some other settings here, you can change if it's a one-time, monthly, recurring. The descriptions, I think, are huge because you can put impact statements next to them, especially for your recurring donations. $250 a month will help our organization do XYZ and, so on and so forth. So I think impact statements are super important if you're able to do them.
Yeah, and I like this if you're not able to see it too. There are many levels where you can put in the dollar amount and you can change it, right? So if you want to go $5 to $500 right now, it's 6 steps from 25 to 1,000, but you can change that. But yeah, to your point, if you can say the impact thing and the right thing to the right person, that like you will house one armadillo for the night to get whatever. If you love armadillos, right, that's going to be like, oh, I love this. Yeah, let's do that.
Yes. And you also have the flexibility to add either monthly, quarterly, or yearly. I
Yeah.
usually shy away from the yearly. I'd say monthly or quarterly are pretty
Mm,
common.
mm-hmm.
But if that's something that your organization decides you want, it's an option. So that's nice.
Yeah, and recurring donations are the way to go. Like any other revenue stream, if you get something that's just coming in month after month, that's what you want.
And then you can also choose if the fund is defaulted. So if, let's just say, this campaign only goes to GenOps, General Operation Fund, you can hide it so it just defaults there. Or let's say you have a campaign and you want to allow your supporters to choose which fund. Let's say, there's an armadillo fund or a giraffe fund or,
Right.
whatever.
Right. Yep.
Then you can have all of the funds displayed and they can choose.
And I assume that is something where you would have to, other place in here, set up your funds.
Yes.
It's like, hey, that's what's out there. Okay.
Yep. There's campaigns, funds, and appeals.
Got it.
And so for our listeners who are maybe newer, campaign is kind of your overarching goal. So maybe like annual giving is a super common one. And then you have an appeal within that. So let's say you do a monthly newsletter. March newsletter would be your appeal, and then your fund. So whatever the campaign and appeal is going to fund, obviously. So general operations, right? It's super common. So it would be annual giving, March newsletter, GenOps.
Got it. And that's important, right? Like setting up this data structure, both in your development when you're doing this and making sure that gets through the finance side. So we know like these are the funds that you're saying we have, we're tracking those appropriately. Are they restricted, not, et cetera?
Right. And being consistent with them, and then also being watchful for repetitiveness. So you probably aren't going to have a general ops campaign and a general ops fund. You're going to want a little more information.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And then, some additional settings here. So the time zone, the campaign type, dedications, there's custom donate button, thank you message. So I've noticed a lot in Givebutter, there's a lot of automation. When we talk about transactions, I'll show you, I can walk through how that looks, but anytime you enter a transaction, you can check a box to immediately send them an acknowledgement. So this would be the same thing. They make a donation on your form, they immediately get a thank you message.
Okay. And again, getting that to them right away is important. Just like the rest of us, we want instant gratification on that stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
And then the tips or fees.
Yep. And then you're going to map, again, the appeal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And any other information there. This was interesting. I have not looked into this, but it looks like you can tie somebody that you're working with maybe to your campaign.
Well, I wonder how you get to be a Givebutter expert to be on this list.
Yeah,
I bet
right.
it's not just like doing their training or something. You have to have this many number of supported clients or something.
Yeah.
And if you're one of these people, you want to get on that list, right? Like you just got to look me up and I'll be in to and help you on all the things.
Givebutter. You just let me know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have a lot of resources that I saw. So there's let me pull this up here real quick. A help center, a Givebutter Academy, where I believe you can earn badges. Maybe that's what these experts are. Maybe. Webinars, freebies, blog, product roadmap. They have a change log. So lots of really good resources. And you'll notice as you're going through the system, there's little buttons that say read the guide. So if you're like reading something, you're like, oh my gosh, what is that? Well, there's usually a read the guide button right below it. So like the thank you message right there, you'll see.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. Cool. Okay. Well, let's wrap this one up, right? And I think next time we'll look at both like the transaction stuff and maybe even like the engage piece as well as the reporting, right? So now what we've learned is like, how do we get people in here? How do we work through campaigns, some of the settings, some of the, a little bit of the bells and whistles that are available to kind of set you up for success. And now like the next one, we'll get to the transactional. How does that look like to put things in here? How are we communicating? What kind of information do you get that out and things like that nature? That sound good?
That sounds great.
Great. So that was a lot. I know you data nerds out there are loving it. right? But this is really what we want to do, is kind of just pull back the shroud on a lot of these tools. How do we use them? What are they good for? All of those things. So I think this is great. Again, we'll have part 2 next time. I think that's all we got.
Yeah,
So,
it was jam-packed. So thanks for staying with us.
yeah, it was jam-packed. So appreciate you guys. If you want to connect with us, you can find us on unchartedpodcast.org. And we're looking forward to chatting with you next time.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Okay.